this lesson, we'll be going through the difference and the sum rule of derivatives. So now, in the previous lesson, we focused on the power rule, and we've seen how we can use the power rule to solve an expression which has got the highest exponent or a degree. Let's say we've got the function y is equal to x to the power 4. Just to recap on what we've done in the past lessons, I will differentiate both sides with respect to x. This means that d over dx of y will become dy over dx. And to differentiate x to the power 4 using the power rule, I must move the exponent to the front and then subtract 1 from it. And this becomes 4x to the power 3. Okay, so the process of finding the derivative is called differentiation. So now in this lesson, we'll be focusing on a situation whereby we've got many terms inside an expression. So because here we've got one term only, it's called a monomial. Take note of that. So now let's go a step higher and derive whereby we've got a binomial or a trinomial. So the first thing we'll do, let's say we've got an expression y is equal to x to the power of 3 plus x to the power of 8 plus x to the power of, let's say, 5. So now, if I'm to differentiate both sides with respect to x, I can see that I've got 3 terms. How do I know that I've got 3 terms? Terms are separated by a plus or a minus sign. So because I've got an addition sign here, or let me use a subtraction sign over here, then we can say that we've got 3 terms. So the term number 3 tells me that I've got a trinomial or a polynomial, more than 2 terms. So now let's differentiate both sides with respect to x. Dy over dx of y will become dy over dx. D over dx of x to the 3 will become 3. I move the 3 to the front. Then I differentiate. I subtract 1 from the 3, becomes 2. I go to the other term. I do the same thing. I move the 8 to the front. Then I subtract 1 from the 8, becomes 7. Even here I do the same. I move the 5 to the front, becomes 5. Then I subtract the 1 to the 5, becomes 4. So now from this, what does it mean? If I'm given more than a single term and I'm differentiating with respect to x, I differentiate all the parts separately and apply the rules which are relevant to that expression separately, and after that I combine the final answer. So we can see from here that 3x squared is the derivative of 3x of x cubed, and 8x to the power of 7 is the derivative of x to the power of 8, and this one is for this one. So that's how we can do it. You apply the same rule but individually to all the expressions. Now let's have the second example. Suppose we are now given y is equal to x to the power of 9 plus x to the power of 11. Now what do? I first differentiate all the terms with respect to x, and this becomes dy over dx. Now I move the 9 to the front and it becomes 9x, and I subtract 1 from it and becomes 8. Simple. And then now I move the other term. I also differentiate this part, and I'll have 11x to the power of 11 minus 1, this term. And this is my answer. So what you must know, when I'm given more than a single term and I have to differentiate the term, apply the rules of differentiation to individual terms. And in this case, I've got 2 terms, and this will be called a binomial. Thank you for watching.